Blah 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 blah.
G'day everyone, welcome back to Matt Hill's Scar Models. I hope you're all well today. An update on the Matchbox Junker builds, the Zero. So everything went back together pretty good. It's sort of I've done a bit more than I'd like to show and how it went back together, but as you can see, it is back together. If that makes any sense. I've got the Hasegawa cockpit glazing that I bought off eBay. That is sort of fitted. There's a couple of little blocks on the side there, you'll see. I've made some little spaces up. I've got to sand those back, and once I mask up the canopy so I don't damage any of it, give the canopy a good clean. The cowling is repaired now. All it needs is its final sand, and I'm hopefully going to get that put on and painted. I'll clean the spinner up, got rid of that real oddball shape that was in that spinner. That's just got a bit of Tamiya primer over it I used for a guide coat for sanding. That's looking okay as well. I've got the little Airfix tail, retractable tail wheel there. The original kit one is there in the down position and some wheels. I've even got this little piece that I just chipped the side out of it. That's the little locking O-ring that went in the back of the hub here on that pin. I've got that I'll put back in. The fuel tank, I've got to clean the seams up, but I got rid of the glue on the top and I drilled two little holes there ready to make some little pins. The cockpit is painted in Imperial Japanese green interior. Nothing too fancy there. I used a seat out of another old junker I had here, because it's going to have a pole and you're not going to see too much. And then I made this little headboard on the back here, which I noticed that these aircraft had on the back by just having a quick look at an Airfix Zero cockpit. It's got that little headrest on the back here, so I used that. Give it a little stand out from underneath. The hardest part of this old kit was doing these retractable landing gear doors. It was really a head, you know what. But what I eventually did was I used the Airfix door setup, and I had this really fine sheet, plastic card sheet. It's almost as thin as paper, and then I traced it out using laid masking tape down, traced it out, and then laid it over on top of the sheet, and then just cut the gear doors out. Now they're not perfectly flush because I had to fill all the underside of this back in. So they're sitting a little bit proud, but I have sanded them down, and I don't think it'll look too bad actually, with a little bit more work on that. So I was happy the way that came out compared with what it was before. I've drilled the holes out also in here for the corresponding holes on the drop tank. I've got to repair this hole here for the stand where someone's cut it out back in the day. Tail wheel hook will go here. I'll make the tail wheel hook out of a bit of wire, just fold the shape and glue it in, and then we'll work on the retracted tail wheel. I have to have a look how far they sat up in the body, whether it was locked p40 where it had doors going over the top of it. I'm going to have to look into that. I got the pilot, he's just spraying a bit of interior green at the moment, but I took the head off. This is the Airfix pilot, and it came out of the new Airfix Zero, which is a really disappointing pilot figure, to tell you the truth. But I took the head off another glue bomb pilot I had here, stuck it on this guy, and I'll have to paint it up, and he will sit. I got his head posed, and it does fit in there, but he's a tight fit. So yeah, just when you want it to work. So there he is there, with his head sort of turned. I just sprayed the bit of interior green over because what was left in the hairbrush and acted a bit of a primer. But I'm just disappointed these Airfix figures. You know, they go to a really nice job building a really nice, with all this detail in one of these new Airfix Zeros, and then they give you a shite pilot to go in it. I thought they would have done a little bit better than that, but beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, that's where I'm at on the Zero. The P40 is in primer. I've just got to now remask, whoops daisy, remask these tapes lifting. I'm using this Kamoi KAMOI tape. It's like to me tape and it's crap, so I won't be buying that again. But the P40 is primed it, and then I sand it back carefully with a bit of light grade sandpaper. Found a few little things I've got to touch up. The underside is completely ready now in the neutral grey, which is virtually the same colour as the primer. One little thing I did find with helping spraying the Humbrol paints is just use, you know, a mineral based turpentine for a thinner, and then I have been adding, like, to a small cup on my airbrush, if I have a little bit in there, and I can sort of do it by eye, I've been adding some Humbrol clear to it, the enamel based Humbrol clear, which is this brand, or which is this bottle, and I found that it just seems to spray a lot nicer and a lot flatter. When I mean flat, not flat in colour, but it lays down a lot better. I think the clear might be acting as like a bit of a airbrush flow improver. But the P40, yeah, I just got to fix up a few more little bits and pieces on the top, redo some of that masking in some of these bigger areas where it started to lift off. It's really disappointing, that tape. And then, because I sprayed in enamel, I found, where have I done? There it is there. I've had this for years. I found some Testors Model Master OD olive drab. I don't know whether it's the ANA, whether that's aircraft olive drab or the tank olive drab. I'll have to do a bit of research, but it is what it is, because I haven't got any enamel olive drab. I have got something that Humbrol says is olive drab, but it's really, really black. And I don't know whether that'll suit it or not. And then I'll get this masked up, cleaned up, and painted. There's a few little imperfections that I want to repair, because I couldn't see them when I was actually painting the kit. Like, the primers, just as it does, brings out a lot of faults. Some of the panel lines are a little bit rough, which I've put in there, but I think they'll clean. It'll look okay in the end for what we're going to do for. I got this hole moved, which was another trouble for the display stand. So originally the hole was back here, and I thought I could just move it forward. But what happens is, when you move it forward, the display stand interferes with the seat underneath. So I had to modify the base of the display stand so it will actually sit in there nicely. But slowly getting there. I'll get it masked up tonight if I can, and get the top coat done on the P40, and let that sit for 2 or 3 days to dry, and then I can work on doing the Zero. A few more little things to do. I said tail wheel hook, repair that hole, and once it's all together, though, it looks it's going to look okay. I'm happy for what it is from when I started with it, and I'm really happy that I got the canopy to work out in the end. There's going to be a little bit of filling to do. There's a few gaps in the around the canopy, but I can get that repaired, and I think it'll be quite fine. Plus, with the little drop tank underneath, it's going to look great. Someone did ask me about the bomb on the P40, whether I'm going to fit that. I don't think I will. I don't know yet, but I sort of want to have it displayed so the P40 is attacking the Zero, sort of, make it look like it, sort of thing, maybe. And I thought to myself, if they're going to attack, same with the Zero, they'd probably drop their bomb load and drop their fuel tank and get out of Dodge as quick as they could. So I might leave it off and and looking at the bond brackets here, yes, I could probably make something up because it's a piece broken off it, but I think I just might leave it out and go on from there. So yep, everything is going pretty smoothly. Thank you everybody for your kind comments and all the views. It's been really encouraging, and hopefully the next video I can give you a bit more progress on it. Hopefully only have a couple more videos so I don't bore the death out of everybody. So be safe, model hard, a little bit of effort, you can get a good result from an old model kit. These are taking a fair bit of effort, but I've really enjoyed every second of it, and it's just been fun to do. The next bit's a bit of woodworking or something, maybe for a base. I'll have to work on that. Catch you later, guys. See ya.